Hello everyone, and welcome to a very special character appraisal, that of Android 18 from Dragon Ball Z. I will only consider her in this series and the History of Trunks special, and not any of the movies or the other series, as I feel this is where most material will come from and is sufficient to make this particular video. Not to mention I still haven't started watching Dragon Ball Super, so there's that, and I definitely won't consider GT. So let's begin.
You're the boss.
Dragon Ball Z, the sequel to Dragon Ball and prequel to Dragon Ball Super and GT, is an anime about a man called Goku who has to fend off a constant assault from enemies from various sources that it borders on laughable. Android 18, initially an antagonist, is a cyborg. No idea why she is referred to as an android, as she has a human base and is a cyborg in fact. She was created by the vengeful Dr. Gero in order to destroy Goku, but as alluded to before, she never fulfilled the expectations of a villain. She and her twin brother Android 17 were at first pegged as evil by future Trunks' prediction and were a huge part of the plot for a bit until they were both swallowed up and integrated into the green insectoid monster known as Cell. After this, she ends up one of the good guys and even goes on to start a family with one of them, but that's for later in the video. Now let's move on to the likes.
Now pay attention. I'm only going to do this once.
She was my first and original waifu. When I was a kid, I would sneak into the lounge to watch Dragon Ball Z since it was only broadcast late at night due to the violence, in hopes of seeing her. I guess that is where my anime obsession began, or did I just convince people that I was a creepy anime otaku who may have died alone if he hadn't somehow found his soulmate in high school who understood that she came second to an anime character? Oh wait, did I just make that even worse?
Get lost, you insect.
Alright, jokes aside, I must admit that she made me attracted to strong and powerful women. Her dominance of Vegeta, the proud prince of all Saiyans, and her zero F's given attitude all contributed to this.
Bring it on!
As you wish.
Their fight was no coincidence, I think, because he is actually as proud as any Saiyan, and Vegeta is as proud as they come. The only difference is that hers isn't worn on her sleeve, and she is very good at mind games and hiding her true intentions, especially in a fight. Just ask poor Vegeta.
How sad to work so hard for so little.
Sad for you!
She, along with her brother, is the metaphor for what teenagers are, or were perceived to be at the time. Rebellious, but ultimately good people. She surprisingly is a villain in the main timeline, never kills anyone, and by the time she turns to the good side and settles down, it is not all that surprising that she does so. This is all in line with the teenage metamorphosis, where some of the stupid things we do at that age are just us trying to figure out where we want to go in life and where we fit in. Her energy output is unlimited, and she could, theoretically, keep shooting energy blasts in perpetuity, which is why one of her attacks is called the Infinity Bullet. The anime does not really explain or exploit this aspect very well, as it appears there are limitations to it. I do like that she goes beyond her limits in her own way, in that we're told that she is a machine that has a set power parameter. However, as the show progresses, we see that her energy and power increases, and she even learned, or is it installed, some new moves as well. This shows that like all the other Z fighters, she is more than capable of going beyond her boundaries in order to save the world and those she cares about. But it must be pointed out that this is also another aspect which is not really elaborated on to my liking. I really didn't want to put this into the like section because I'm a bit conflicted, and it's not jealousy or anything, but she found love with the vertically challenged and whimpering Krillin.
Good luck.
It's not jealousy. They even go on to have a kid together. But anyway, that is all I will say about that. But she does show that it was her choice to love him, unlike where she simply falls all over herself just because. Even though she changes her ways, she does remain consistent. As an antagonist, she took things with no thought to the consequences, but after joining the Z Fighters, she still goes for what she wants. Directly, if I may say so, but only within the confines of the law and social norms. Usually. She also remains a very proud woman with a commanding nature. No matter her power level in comparison to the others, she does not emote too much, though we are made aware that she has feelings. She is not pretentious at all. Her bluntness and sarcasm are some of the greatest highlights of her character.
Yes! Look, 18! You get to fight Mr. Satan!
Great. I'm jumping for joy.
I wouldn't take it so lightly. My dad's a dangerous man.
Did I also mention that she seems to be business-minded and efficient in general? She even knows about fashion trends among other things.
What do we have here? Ugh, rubbish. Maybe this one. Oh, no, I don't think so.
One more thing I like is that she has an alternate timeline version who lives up to the antagonist she was initially heralded as by future Trunks.
Curse those brats, where have they gone? Let's just bomb the whole area. That will draw those two out of hiding.
I love that we get to see this version of her so we can understand the direness of the situation she and her brother caused to prompt future Trunks to travel to the parallel past. Trust me, she was no Powerpuff Girl.
Excuse me, folks. You're gonna have to get to the back of the line.
Buzz off. We were here first.
Ma'am, please. The rules say that...
Rules. Who needs them?
Oh, no. Look out!
Alas, while I didn't want to have any dislikes for her, I still have them. Here goes. Her power level is great, but her character development in comparison to other female characters or any other characters in general is disappointing.
It sounds to me like you're being foolish.
I do appreciate that they never pitted her against female characters just to give a catfight, but it is also sad to know that we never actually get to see her improve in her abilities. Instead, she is portrayed as a money-hungry woman who is there as a trophy piece for the show to point to saying, "Hey, there's a warrior woman, so sit down," to anyone who may complain. As the series progresses, the best compliment she can get in terms of power is this.
Boy, Goten, this girl is really tough. She's a lot stronger than Krillin, that's for sure.
She is used more as a yardstick to gauge power, but she is never ahead of the game or changing it in any way. Her position as the token powerful female character does not end there, with her abilities being above most of the other females in the show, but never really scratching the surface of the power levels reached by her male counterparts. And it's made abundantly clear that women can be powerful, but never as powerful as the game-changing men.
What? But how?
Spare me.
Her being swallowed up by Cell is a perfect metaphor for what the story does to her as well. She is absorbed into it and loses most of the clout that made her so unique and independent, and she was relegated to being a sideline sitting secondary character. But in terms of personality, I am happy that she does not try or contemplate too hard about the battle potential she has. She lives life how she wants to live it, not how we or the other characters may want her to. However, I must point out that she does compensate for this in her unbending personality and convictions.
That's what you call taking it easy?
It's not my fault these guys are weaklings.
Where her female contemporaries are struggling to keep up with their men, it is the other way around for her, with her man being the submissive one who begs for her attention. But I must say that this was not much of a compliment and more of an insult in my view, because she tamed an already weak character.
Why me?
It's as if they were saying that she could never have tamed one of the others who actually have a spine. In conclusion, for being my first waifu, before I even knew what that meant, I will give her a golden A+.
Well.
The Google poll results are in the majority in agreement with me. 49% gave an A, 18% gave a B, 16% awarded her a C, 5% voted D, and 13% an E to an F. Well, those clearly don't have any taste. And that's my character appraisal of Android 18 from Dragon Ball Z. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you like and subscribe and comment about what your thoughts are and who you would like to see appraised in future. Until the next video, I am Zakes and take care.